Well, hey there, guys. Look at what we got. We got ourselves a new t-shirt for a KONIG wheel giveaway. Do you see it? Look at this great shot, but look at me. Okay, this is more important. We partnered with KONIG Wheels to give away a free set of wheels. All you have to do is pick up a t-shirt. And then we'll also be making a donation to the ASPCA. The description link is below. Click the link. You can take a look at the shirt. It's pretty cool. It's also got a back. It says drift mode on it, which is not a Ford Focus ST. But anyway, the actual giveaway ends at the month of July. If you're still watching this, I'm sorry. We probably have another one going on. But anyway, let's get into the video. When it comes to the game of hot hatches, there's only a few that are at the top in the current day and age. One in particular comes from the good old US boys that wanted to come in and bring a fun, trendy, affordable car that could replace the Ford Escort's incredible pedigree. What started off as a soft, fuel-efficient, happy-faced Teletubby turned into an angry, angsty, blow-off valve having car with LEDs and a raked body style and angry everything. It's a very aggressive car. I mean, from the factory, it is pretty aggressive. I'm Alex from Fitment Industries, Alex at FI on the gram, and on this episode of So You Want, we are talking about the Ford Focus ST. Look at it. It's an ST. You can tell because it says it on the front. Don't forget that if you're looking for aftermarket wheels, tires, or suspension like coilovers or airlift, we've got it. You don't have to worry about those Squarespace ads. Oh no, we make our own plugs. Thank you very much. We've got over 15,000 aftermarket cars in our gallery and darn near perfect fitment specs, so you can find your next setup without having to be that one guy that ends up with 2 inches of poke on a 10 wide with 225 tires. Save yourself the pain. FitmentIndustries.com. The Ford Focus originally arrived in 1998 and had a weird job of trying to replace the Ford Escort. That was no tall feat, as the Ford Escort was one of Ford's most successful models, beating out the Pinto in the 80s and was actually the second best-selling car for quite some time. So how are they gonna do it? How are they gonna take the champion? How are they gonna grab the old trophy out of that little Escort's tiny little grubby hands? Well, they were gonna make them the sugar cookie of the car world. You see, nobody doesn't like sugar cookies. It's like always a safe bet. How can you get a sugar cookie wrong? It's sugar and a cookie. Like, there's very little risk to having a sugar cookie. It's not like that crap where you got the chocolate chip cookies and the chocolate chip cookies and turns out Aunt Diana didn't bring 2 plates of chocolate chip cookies. She ended up bringing a plate of raisin cookies. That's disgusting. Nobody even eats those. Sugar cookies, on the other hand, are a safe bet. If you guys are ever wondering how to bring a dish to pass to anything, especially as we're going into July, maybe you got some weddings that you're going to, forget the cards at home, bring the sugar cookies. The Ford Focus was gonna be that sugar cookie for Ford. It was designed to appeal to everyone. Everyone. It could be a 3-door hatch, a 4-door sedan, a 5-door hatch. It could be a wagon. It could be fun or it could be flashy. It could be young and hip, or it could be for the older generation trying to just have good gas mileage. Ford gave it as many options as you could possibly get with your Ford Focus. Like, it had electronic stability control. It had aluminum wheels if you wanted some sporty wheels, because apparently that's a thing for normal consumers. Power moonroof, remote entry, personal safety system, all of it. They had all of it. Anything that you could imagine that Ford had in its lineup at one point, it had for the Ford Focus. So you could have it as any possible way that you wanted to. The first generation itself won over 60 different awards. Car of the Year, Best Family Car, Automobile of the Year, Best Small Car, and like 56 other awards. It was a pretty darn good car. And from the first generation to the second, you'd see the Ford Focus getting just some little updates here or there, because guess what? It's a sugar cookie. You don't need to change the game. You just need to add maybe just a little bit more sugar, a little bit few more knickknacks, you could say. The car made a stop in video games like Midnight Club, The Sims, Need for Speed Underground, and even Gran Turismo, because it was seen as a hot hatch to a certain type of market. And Ford was able to put this bad boy just about anywhere and everywhere. But they were laying down the framework for the car that would come out with like the swoopy red badge in the front. It would get rally sport, it would get all over racing. This was like setting up to have another tier of vehicle finally come to the United States, because you have to remember the Ford Focus was taking on events like Class T, SCCA, it was taking on WRC, it was even taking on the race of Morocco. It was taking on everything. So like I said, it's the sugar cookie. Just like every other car in the world, Ford was releasing fun variants of this car in other areas leading up to the ST. They didn't bring it to the States because why give us anything that's fun? Why would they do that? Overseas, Ford would be releasing cars like the Focus RS in 2002, the ST in 2005, the RS 500, which looked like every Ford Focus you made in a video game if you were 20 plus years old, and we were just kind of left high and dry with the normal Focus until finally, launch for the 2012-2013 model year, Ford finally came back and gave the land of the free, home of the brave, something for us to sing that song to, the Ford Focus ST. Now, even though it didn't come with as many options to pimp it out right out of the gate, it was at least a start. It wasn't until 2013 that Ford really began to deliver more options and features to the ST that grabbed the attention of 18-year-old enthusiasts everywhere. The ST had it all. Dual exhaust out the back. It had the rear spoiler. It had the widened fenders. Came pre-smashed. A big old beefy honeycomb grille, angsty headlights, and if you got the right package, a pretty decent interior. It was actually a pretty decent launch too for the trim. You had 252 geeses, 2-liter turbo, high pressure direct injection, variable cam timing, and a few other goodies that made it feel like it looked. When it hit the market, it hit it hard. Cool kids say it. Can you guess it? Multiple choice question. Just kidding, it slapped. Here's a hot hatch that had just enough horsepower that could make front wheel drive fun, yet responsible. A car that was angry, but could still carry your friends in the back to the nearest Taco Bell for a $5 box. It was solid. Even though the initial years of the Ford Focus ST had some various issues with the hood rusting, had some vibration noises going on with it. Sometimes the door sills, they didn't have the right, that would rust, the trunk would rust, there would be some sealing issues. It still held up, for the most part, pretty okay. For enthusiasts like you and enthusiasts like me, the Ford Focus ST hit the market just damn near perfect. It came with Recaro seats if you got the right package. You had manual gearbox, gauges, it had a lot of aggressive styling. So now you might be wondering, why was it so popular? You know, I mean, it had the Volkswagen, why don't you just get the Volkswagen? Why don't you just get the Subaru? It was a Subaru. Let me explain this to you, okay? Come in closer. Right on this perspirating face because this garage has absolutely no air conditioning. Remember sleeping in your finance classes in college? I bet you don't, because I probably was doing it too. That's why the Focus ST slapped when it hit the market. Ford's incentive financing program put the ST and other models in the perfect range for nearly anyone. They had the 0%, they had the rebates, and they had all the dad rebate deals without any of the fuss, meaning that you could get into a Ford Focus or even the ST trim package for relatively very little cost, and something that VW and other competitors weren't doing at the time with their same competitor models. This got these cars in almost everyone's hands. The more you know. Over the years, the Focus continued to get improved styling for the car. We saw a 2015 styling update with a little crazier design for the enthusiast, more noise insulation because apparently that was a problem, and suspension retuning, and some of the goodies to add just a little bit more sugar to the sugar cookie. The Ford Focus ST came in 3 trim levels. You had the ST1. If you were looking for the ST without any of the goodies, just never let anybody ride in your car and get the ST1. The ST2 was like that middle ground, like it had the Recaro Mixie Boy seats, where some of it was leather and some of it wasn't. And then you had the ST3, which was like the banging one. That one had the full Recaro leather seats. It had the nice interior. You had the radio that was very nice. Everything was just very well done. The ST2 was like halfway there and the ST1 was like, if you want the ST with nothing on the inside, good sir, it's yours. If you're looking to pick up which one you wanted, it really came down to how much are you willing to save some cash, because the ST1 was actually and is very easy to jump into, while the ST2 and the ST3 have a tendency to hold their value just a wee bit more because they have a couple more goodies on the inside. But let me be clear, it is still a Ford, so the ST1 package is going to have a Ford interior at an entry-level price point. So if you're looking to have something that looks good and feels good on the inside, you're probably gonna wanna save a couple more pennies. But we're not here to talk history. We're here to talk about you wanting one. So you want a Ford Focus ST. Well, buckle up there, bud, and let's dive into it. The Focus ST is a platform that was initially taken up by enthusiasts and just ran with. Every state had some sort of ST club, and immediately the Cobb Access support angels cried as tunes began to get released for this specific platform. You begin to see these things get used for pretty much everything and everywhere. You had the daily driving, you had the autocross, you had the car shows, you had the stance boys, everything in between. However, do I feel bad for if you bought one of these when they were first launched? Because if you're watching this now and you're looking to buy one, you're in a good old spot there, bud. Because if you're outside of that, if you bought it when it first released, I feel bad for Dakota. Because the moment they released, their prices really just diminished extremely fast. Overproduction and of course the release of the RS actually crippled resale value, and the ST platform is still feeling it year over year. If you're looking to jump into one, be mindful that these may not really be worth a whole heck of a lot coming in a few years, because they were still a mass-produced entry-level performance sport compact hot hatch car. Also, because of Ford deciding to be different and having a 5x108 bolt pattern means that you're limited in wheel choices compared to the plenty of other platforms that carry that 5x1 14.3. And even though a lot of wheel manufacturers have a tendency to prefer the German enthusiast, the 5x108 doesn't really leave you with a whole lot. It keeps you in the NK 1552 market unless you want to pay the big dollars and get yourself some multi-piece wheels. You'll see STs on everything from Atsus to Nittos. Depending on the person, you'll need to get over the fact that it is front-wheel drive, which means you'll be battling torque steer, sloppy steering, and some other negativos when you begin modifying the car past its stock platform. The 252-ish benchmark for the horsepower when it came out of the gate was right about where a lot of people felt comfortable with the car. And of course, nobody likes keeping anything stock around here, so you have to pay attention to the fact that as you add more power, it is going to the front wheels, not the back one. And you have to understand that everyone assumes that you're just about to terrorize a neighborhood when they see you because your Focus has a red badge on it. Apparently that's just a thing that seems to happen now. They're loud, obnoxious, they're kind of like SRT4s. The seats can get uncomfortable if you're, if you're a venti versus a sample size, if you're a little bit bigger guy, because the seats just don't give, especially if you get the Recaro seats. The car is kind of like a computer, it requires updates, which if you don't do, you can send your infotainment system into a frenzy and will just refuse to work. There was an electrical gremlin that would cause the car to stall and sometimes just misbehave entirely, something that was an extremely common occurrence in the 2014 STs as well as other years. But these are almost all things that come from an entry-level hot hatch performance car. Am I telling everyone to get over it? No. The Focus ST is truly a dynamic and extremely well-received car. Get over the depreciation and the fact that there's a few recalls out there, and you find yourself that you have a fun daily that is close to its competitors. They're modifiable, they look good, they perform, and guess what? It's a Ford. So it's gonna be like a okay car. You don't have to worry about things getting super crazy on them because it's still a Ford. However, a lot of people that end up buying Focuses, then they go drive a Fiesta ST, and then they just go back and they buy a Fiesta because the Focus was apparently not as fun as a Fiesta. Fiesta guys are a whole different breed though. So what do you think about the ST? Why don't you drop a comment 1 to 10 telling us what you think, and also don't forget to drop a comment what you'd like us to cover next. If you're looking for wheels, tires, or suspension, you got to go to fitmentindustries.com, right? You know that because we only say it 9,000 times. And if you prefer to get your name in for winning a free set of wheels because you have an addiction to a shirt collection, check out the link below and pick up one of the KONIG t-shirts. Every purchase also helps us make a donation to the ASPCA. Arms of an Angel. I'm not singing it this time. I'm Alex from Fitment Industries. We hope you guys enjoyed this video. We will see you later. Peace.